9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, and welcome to a special edition of Aerospace NOTAM podcast. I'm Tim Robertson, Editor-in-Chief of Aerospace magazine, and with me is Deputy Editor Stephen Bridgewater, Features Editor Bella Richards, and special guests Angelika and Aleena from our Solent branch. And we are coming to you from a very special location of the Farnborough wind tunnels. What an amazing facility this is. First built in 1935?
1935, big mahogany blades and precast concrete, and imagine seeing this for the first time in 1935, the biggest wind tunnel of its time. Incredible building and incredible acoustics.
So we're here coming to you at the end of a packed, almost the end of a packed week at the 2024 Farnborough Air Show. It's been a really busy week for us, especially in terms of military news, but a lot of other stuff going on. We're just catching our breaths really at the moment. But what was the biggest things news that we saw? I suppose the first thing for me would be GCAP. New concept demonstrator design comes out, bigger wing.
It's a beast of an aeroplane, isn't it? Yeah, BAE Systems have got the mock-up here. It's an enormous aeroplane.
Yeah. I didn't expect it. You put up a photo on X and it did not do it justice at all.
Yeah, it really is a big fighter, and that kind of, I suppose, points to more range, more performance, probably more weapons carriage as well. So really looking forward to where that goes. And a lot of high-level interest in it. It's important to remember that the 2024 Farnborough Air Show as well. This is the obviously new Labour government, so they've come in, and the whole show has been kind of flooded by new ministers learning all about the aerospace and the space industry in the UK. What about on the civil side, folks? What's happened there?
Well, we're recording this at sort of Thursday evening. Just had the most recent order come in. I think we're up to just over 300 orders now between all the big manufacturers, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think we calculated from obviously Boeing, Airbus, de Havilland, ATR,
and Embraer. As you can tell, just over being 300, a lot less than what we were expecting. Some people were projecting up to 1,000. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And some of the big projected orders didn't come through, but Korean Air, big order.
Yeah, the biggest one I think was FlyNAS's 95 order for Airbus, was it?
So a mix of 320 Neos and 330 Neos.
Yeah, there are actually a few A330 jets bought this week, which I was kind of about.
From breaking news just before the event is the 321 XLR, which received certification just before the show. Has been flying in the flying display here. A couple of orders during the week, not as many as I thought, but quite, I think probably sort of half a dozen maybe.
Does it kind of show that companies just don't wait for air shows anymore? Because announcements will come right ahead or right after even.
Yeah, I mean, there could be a little bit of that. I mean, the thing also to remember is the aerospace industry, the civil aerospace, is struggling with ramp up. They've still got supply chain issues going. They've still got a little bit of workforce issues as well, and deliveries rather than sales.
Yeah.
So Airbus has got this huge backlog that's stretching
biggest
out.
backlog, apparently 15 years or something.
So even if they sell stuff now, you're going to wait a while for your new airliner. So it's a good problem to have, but it means that maybe air shows are a little bit more quieter on the civil side than maybe a few years ago when everyone's kind of ordering airlines like crazy.
Yeah.
But really interesting news on the sustainable side of things. Obviously, lots of emphasis on SAF, but also hybrid electric. Zero Avia have been briefing this week. Lots of things on lots of hydrogen things. So really exciting. That seemed to be front and centre. One of the first things you came in was kind of sustainable aerospace.
I remember sitting here 2 years ago at the end of Farnborough 2022, and we jokingly said, I don't think we've been in a press conference where the word sustainability hasn't been used. 2 years down the line, we're still exactly the same.
Yeah,
you're right. Hybrid electric, hydrogen, Kawasaki. So we had a press conference yesterday with Voltero, who have a while ago announced that they're having a Kawasaki motorbike engine converted to run their Casio 330. Well, the result of the research on that, Kawasaki are now launching a whole range of aero engines right up to a sort of V12, 9-litre, potentially 1 megawatt hybrid electric. So these are engines that will run on conventional avgas, and they'll run on SAF and biofuel, and also looking at hybrid electric and hydrogen propulsion as well with them. So interesting to see a new company coming into the engine market.
Yeah, which is exciting seeing a new company. Especially that.
And going back to yesterday as well, I mean, obviously we had the on the military side of things, we had the mock-up up here of GCAP with the big wing. Yesterday we had the exciting news that first metal had been cut for the Tempest technology demonstrator. So that is going to fly within the next 3 years. You know, watch out for it in Farnborough. It's the first sort of like technology demonstrator fighter program, prototype in 40 years.
Yeah.
So, and that's being put together right now.
EAP, 1986, wasn't
1986,
it?
yeah.
Wow.
So exciting times for anybody, any young people who are in the aerospace industry or thinking about joining the aerospace industry. Space, what have we seen in space?
Yeah, so as most people would know, space, even though it's becoming extremely important at air shows, news is a little less. It's a lot more about the panels discussing the industry issues and what's kind of going on. But there definitely has been a few news announcements, such as I think the UK Space Agency investing 24 million into several projects. Especially, I think there was a few more million into projects that address the space skills gap. Specifically, Steve had a really cool interview with the Director General, Joseph Ashbacher.
Oh, yes, really good interview. Really good interview, and I mean, such an inspirational character anyway, but explain the need that we need big projects. Europe, the UK need big projects to keep. We've got lots of talent, we've got to keep that talent engaged for fear of it disappearing across the Atlantic. Yeah,
and you had that interview a day before ESA and the UK Space Agency announced they want to collaborate more and actually invest more time in the UK, because we have so much talent, but we just need to actually get that through the pipeline and start it. So and Saxaboard announced that they're hoping to get their final launch license in September for a late autumn launch of the RFA rocket, so hopefully we see a UK launch soon.
Wow, okay. And there's also obviously lots of drones on display at this show, so drones of all sizes, from the smallest ones to the big ones as well. Good to see wind racers here. We've written about wind racers. It's a utility drone. There was another one I spotted today from Kellen Lenz, who's been working with Network Rail and another company, and it's for underground mapping. Prophemius. So the idea is you drop it into a tunnel, little rotors extend, it goes out and maps tunnels.
That is very cool.
So how cool is that?
Yeah.
Innovation everywhere you look.
We've seen lots of drones, UAVs, call them what you will, at trade shows. We've actually seen one in the air this year.
Yes.
So Green Jets recently formed Sentinel Jets. They've got one of their vehicles. So Green Jets produce electric motors, particularly electric ducted fans. So they've got a blended wing body UAV, which has got vertical takeoff capabilities, and they flew that in the air display this week. And actually the weather conditions have not been great this week. It's been particularly windy on lots of days, and this thing flew really well. So interesting. I can't remember there being an electric drone flying in a Farnborough display before. Somebody, I'm sure, will correct me, but I think that might be a first. Okay,
flying display highlights. So flying today, we just want to sort of point out, flying was a little bit subdued due to weather, but anyone have a flying display highlights? F-15 QA for me is good. B-52 fly past.
Yeah, the F-15 QA was a good display. The F-16, the Danish Air Force brought the F-16 across. It was a fantastic display, that was. For a 50-year-old aeroplane, really still capable of turning within the airfield. But I have to say, the ATR, for me, from an airline, we've seen in the past, lots of dramatic airliner displays, but the ATR was really well flown this week. That's probably the highlight for me.
And we had also had the debut flying display of the Diamond 750.
Yeah, the Dart 750.
So that's a twin-seat tandem trainer.
The thing I found really interesting with that, obviously, turboprop powered, PC-9 type aircraft. They're actually selling that to civilian owners as well.
Oh, right.
So not just aimed at the military. So the only thing that you can't get on that is the ejection seat. But apart from that, they will sell the aeroplane to civilian owners. So when are they going to pay a rise, Tim? That's what I'm going to go for, if that's all right.
If.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm just kidding you there, of course. The other thing on the static display, there were some highlights on the static display, and one thing that stood out, really jumped out for me, was Airbus Defence had their Airbus Wingman, fresh from the ILA Berlin show, really futuristic looking stealth drone, and that actually, I mean, there's now the UK and Germany talking about closer security cooperation, and in fact one pre-Farnborough briefings for the Airbus defence CEOs saying that drones, kind of the loyal wingman type drones, and weapons were two places where GCAP and the Franco German-Spanish future fighters can actually cooperate. So very, very interesting sort of days ahead there in terms of could a Tempest be flying with an Airbus Defence loyal wingman in the future? Watch this space, isn't it? And then the other thing was eVTOLs. So we've had quite a number of eVTOLs mock-ups here at the show. Supernal,
Yes.
Boeing have the Whisk here.
Joby was here.
Yeah, Lilium Jet. You flew the Lilium Jet simulator.
I had to go in the Lilium Jet, and I managed to perform a perfect landing. Yes, although it was a little skew whiff on the landing pad, so I'm now fully qualified eVTOL pilot.
Wow.
And so you've gone from eVTOL flying very, very slowly, but didn't you also fly something very, very fast in a simulated environment?
Well, gosh, yes, we had the boom. So the other big news this week. It was Boom Supersonic revealed their flight deck for a Supersonic airline. So that was a really cool sort of a day out as well. And it's a big glass cockpit displays. It's got active sticks in it. Not helmet mounted, but kind of goggles for augmented reality. And they had a seal of approval. I was in there with the simulator where they had 4 ex-Concorde pilots, including the former chief pilot of British Airways, Captain Mike Bannister, who was giving them feedback and sort of rave reviews from Captain Bannister, saying obviously a lot different than Concorde, but he was really sort of happy with it. So that was the big news from Boom. The other big news from Boom is that they are 18. They're going to. The big question there is what are they doing with the engine? They've got an ambitious timescale now. They're going to run, they're aiming to run the hot core of their engine in 18 months. So
that's their own design engine?
That's their own design engine. So that's the Symphony engine. It's going to be built by Standard Aero, and they say that basically, the turbofan is mature technology. There's nothing mysterious about that. But it's how you do it. It's digital design. It's those kind of tools that allow you to do it much faster. Which is again one of the big themes of the show. So
the other thing that stuck out for me this week has been Japan. I think there's been a huge amount of news relating to Japan. So, JAL, big airline order. Obviously, you saw the Japanese Defence Minister with GCAP. Had some interesting things to say. I saw Shigeo Watanabe from JAXA came to our stand today, so good conversation. And of course, next year is Osaka 2025, so big expo in Japan. So I think it's interesting to see a lot of technology coming out of Japan, as always. SkyDrive are now started making their cutting metal for their first eVTOL. That's hopefully going to be displaying at Osaka in 2025. Real hotbed of talent to watch there. Yeah, it feels like they've arrived at the air show scene in a big way this year. And especially Defence Minister going up there and saying how committed they were to GCAP and how the tri-national fighter program will make the 3 nations work together. So we've gone through the list here. Flying display, we've highlights. So let's go. Any other highlights from you, Steve? Not particularly a highlight, but just an overview that I think the show has had a real buzz this year. I've said to a lot of people, we were here 2 years ago, and obviously it was the first one post-COVID. Obviously it was horrendously hot 2 years ago. But you spoke to a lot of exhibitors, and you got the impression they were here because they felt they should be. This year, everybody I spoke to said they were here, and they were absolutely loving being at the show. Got, lots of orders, lots of exciting news. And just people wanted to be back at a trade show again. So
and it sold out, wasn't it?
We sold out.
It was like the biggest selling a bit.
I've spoken to Joshy from Farnborough earlier on today, and they're already selling space at record levels for next year in 2 years' time. So I think for me, lots of highlights, but I think just the whole atmosphere itself. But I mean, I've been coming to Farnborough a long time. You've been coming to Farnborough for a long time. Guys, what about you? Because this is your first time working at a Farnborough, isn't it?
First time being at
Farnborough. Oh, really? Okay.
Wow, okay.
And I completely agree with what you were saying. Everyone just wanted to show us what was going on.
Yeah, you guys had some great luck.
Yeah, we got into the commentators box where they were commentating on the air displays. So yeah, really, really good vibes just at the air show. Everyone just wanting to help, wanting to show what's new, wanting to speak to us, which was really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
What have your highlights been from just one day? Because you guys are coming back tomorrow, which is or today. If you're watching this today, it's the Pioneers of Tomorrow. It is the STEM. It's the Careers Day. So what are your highlights so far just from today?
I'd say going on the simulator.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I enjoyed it so much.
That's the Typhoon simulator. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
BAE's entire display was top notch. Tried on their new helmet, which was also a Typhoon helmet. It was a new concept that had a bit more functionality, and you could see like targets through the lens of the helmet. Very cool, and we could physically put it on and feel the weight of it. And then we flew on the simulator.
And
They
check out like the animation.
Yeah.
We mentioned it already, but I think the fact that they showed the internals of it and the engine and the missile system within the big frame was very cool.
So you guys are here tomorrow. You're doing the girls doing a lot of filming for us tomorrow, focusing on apprentices, graduates, young people in the aerospace industry. So if it's short notice, we know, but if you're watching this on Friday morning, if you've got somebody on your stand, if you've got somebody who's really passionate for aerospace and is happy to be interviewed on video, come and talk to the girls, because it's, and not just engineering and piloting. There's so many careers in the aerospace sector that it's been really good to highlight why these options are available and what advice you'd have for the next generation coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Bella, you've been not at this show. You've been crewing mission control. You've been coordinating. You want to explain why this is, and you got out today and what you saw there?
Yeah. So as Tim just mentioned, I've mostly been at our Airbnb, kind of coordinating all the press releases, just making sure we're actually producing content, and that is because I assume no one really know, but I'm 7 months pregnant, so it was going to be a little bit hard to be walking around the huge air show. Even today, one day I was like, I'm a bit exhausted. But it was so nice coming today. Obviously, unfortunately, I didn't get to see much of the flying display, but we're pretty lucky because the Airbnb we've stayed at has like a glass roof, and we're right under the flight path, so we were able to see.
You've probably seen more of the flying display than we have.
I was thinking that. But I got to sit in one of the space zone panels where they were talking about, being under a new government, what's that looking like for the space industry, what do we need to be kind of pushing for, and as anyone can probably imagine, the biggest thing is workforce space skills gap, which is not just a space thing alone, it's pretty much every high-tech sector. And they were talking about a lot of things that have been, I guess, spoken about before, but something I thought was really interesting is kind of finding that balance of, getting young people interested, obviously, but also retaining people who are, older in their career, even retirees, people who can kind of bring that inspiration to younger people. And there was also something mentioned about how the one thing they're seeing is there's such a lack of hands-on experience with young people, and that fits in so well with our president.
We had that came up at the skills thing with Dave Edwards, our CEO. He was talking about skills, and also
David Chin with his design, build, fly theme for his president's year.
And they were saying that obviously there's kind of this theme where you get young people really involved, like little kids, but then somewhere along the line they kind of get over it and don't end up in those more academic or STEM subjects. And then by the time they're 16, 17, looking to join uni soon, they were saying it's almost too late to get them interested into hands-on experience. So you need to get them interested young and getting them hands-on experience, bringing small satellite models into class or aircraft, So I think it was really interesting, and hopefully we see some great progress with this new government, and
That sounds like a question actually to you guys. Actually, is you know, what inspired you into aerospace in the first place, and also what kept you in? What was your you know, why did you get like aviation in the first place?
Yeah. I think for me it started off with space. So first it was astronomy, and then I wanted to know more hands-on, like we were saying. So I found aerospace engineering, and it was definitely after my first internship that I thought, okay, I'm definitely staying.
Yeah.
So again, the kind of hands-on experience, even if it's design and not tangibly making something, but designing it, working with people in the industry and speaking to them, the experienced people, that helps retaining talent, I think, for sure.
But you,
I've always been interested in engineering, but I've dipped my toes in different types of engineering, and then when I was 14 I started flying.
Okay.
That's what steered me towards aerospace. And then after my first year of flying, I got to learn more about sustainability and net zero, so I'm really propelled by by electric aircraft.
Okay.
So that's something I really
Very
want to go
next
into.
generation.
fantastic.
So-
So there you are, all the exciting opportunities you can get involved in. It's a great industry. You know, I mean, how cool is this?
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap up now.
I'm sorry, Tim, I've got to interrupt you. Breaking news. As we say, we're recording this Thursday night. I've just got the final statistics through for the week from Farnborough. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Go on.
£13 billion worth of sales signed at the show this week, of which, so that's just for the UK. So the show has brought £13 billion of sales in for the UK economy.
Not a bad week.
Overall, £81.5 billion of deals worldwide for worldwide companies, and 260 firm orders at the show.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Oh, because that excludes obviously like MOUs. and
Yeah, that's
things.
not including the, so the figures we quoted earlier got letters of intent in MOUs,
Yeah.
but 260 firm sales, £81.5 billion worth of deals, of which 13 billion are for UK companies.
You can tell it's a Thursday and we've been up every night blogging and what have you. So yeah, so I'd just like to say, you know, obviously keep watching the NOTAM podcast, listening to the NOTAM podcast. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on SoundCloud. Big shout also to our intern Katie Preston and reporter Jack Richardson, who are assisting us earlier in the week. They're not here with us now, unfortunately. Where can we find you guys? Where's your podcast? What's it called?
So it's called Astro Talks,
Yep.
and it's available on Spotify, and we'll be reaching out onto YouTube soon as well.
Excellent. And what about X? Have you got an X?
We've got X, we've got Instagram, we've got LinkedIn, so definitely follow us. It's RAeS, Solent, YPC. So yeah, everything will be linked on there in terms of podcasts. And episode 2 will be out soon about Farnborough, so definitely be sure to check it out.
Wow, okay, that is something to look forward to. So, the big goodbye from me, goodbye from the team here, and goodbye from the Farnborough wind tunnels, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.
Bye.